The corner, the corner, the corner. Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you will find real, authentic conversation. Organic conversation. Like you're at home with your cousin. It's about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love. And everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey to explore life. Listen, let's sit back and enjoy a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on, a wide range of spectrum of thoughts. My goal is to create a space for all of us to connect, all of us to learn each other, and all of us to communicate. It's really not about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy this. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about the corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We are back. We are back. We are back again with another episode of When My Sister Wins, We All Win. And I've knocked it out of the park again with another beautiful sister out here who's doing big things in the community. And I think this show is a winner. I think by having her on, I think you all will be enlightened with definitely some information on how to enrich yourself spiritually and align yourself mentally. I found her. I always will say this: the internet is a gift and a curse, all the social media. And I was gifted by finding her on the internet, TikTok, and I came across a couple of her videos. I graciously reached out to her and she responded. So I have to first thank her for responding. I know it's kind of odd for people just to reach out to you, but I know you have a service and I wanted to bring that service to the audience. So without further ado, I'm going to go by her. I'm going to give you her full name, but she goes by TK, and that's Tonya Kinlow. Miss Kinlow, thank you for joining us on Cousin Ed's Corner.
Thank you for having me, Cousin Ed. I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate you. I'm happy to have you. I know that we had a scheduling conflict first, but it was for a good reason, and we both are here today. So I'm happy to have you. I always like to start off by just hearing a little bit about yourself. I have a bio here that I can go over and read to everyone and tell them, about you. But I don't think it does you justice to hear who you really are and hear some things that may enrich some of their lives. So if you don't mind telling them, a little bit about your upbringing and what got you to the point you're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to thank TikTok too. For us meeting, because I have been on there about less than a year now. And in Instagram, I really started on social media big less than a year ago to promote things that I'm doing now, my spiritual writing and all. And I want engagement. I'm always happy when someone actually hears what I'm saying and reaches out to me. So I am just over the moon happy to be here to have another opportunity to reach more people. I am TK, Tonya Kinlow. I've been going by TK more and more lately. You can tell where I know people from by what they call me. My family calls me Tonya or T. When I went to college, they called me Kinlow. And now in this part of my life, it's TK, and at the end of corporate and where I am now in my spiritual journey, TK seems to be my moniker. I am originally from DC. I grew up there. My family's still there. I go there several times a year. I'm one of 5 kids. So the inner Southwest DC, not the DC area, actually Washington, DC. And I left there and went to FAMU, which is a big identifier. We talk, people say, oh, you went to FAM. That's a big community. Yes, it is. My daughter went there, just all of my friends right now are still from there. And then I had a long corporate career, over 26 years in corporate America, a finance type up through CFO roles, GE, Daimler, Chrysler, Yum Brands, KFC, and some smaller companies too. But I did the range of corporate America. I worked my way up. I hustled, raised a family. And about 6 or 7 years ago, I left corporate. I got to that point where there's got to be something more. And it can't all be about money. It can't all be about the bottom line. And again, I was a finance person. So I was about money inside of money, on top of money. So that was a hard one for me to break, which I'm still working on. But I really left and then started pursuing entrepreneurism. And my first company didn't really last through COVID. And that's where I put a lot of my resources. And now, in the middle of that, I became a health and wellness coach, which is really more about spirituality, holistic mind, body, spiritual well-being, not just how many calories are you counting and are you eating right? What's your sugar level? And so I really talk about things like I enjoyed hearing in your introduction. We're all one. We're a community. And why aren't we acting like that? Do we know what that means? How are we living? And so that's what's gotten me here. I just wrote my 4th book, The Universal Laws of Awakening, came out in October. And that's really what I want to make sure it gets out to the world. And it's about 11 universal laws, like the law of one, like being connected, that we can live by and awaken. So I'm just happy to always be able to talk about any of them or all of them, because they all contain these truths that can help us be successful. And by successful, I mean find that place of inner peace. That's what I call success.
I took all that in. I've been writing notes the whole time, and I have some things I have to go back to. So you're 1 of 5, youngest, oldest, middle?
I am the 4th child, next to the youngest. I have 1 sister and 3 brothers. Okay. So I'm the baby girl.
Growing up in DC, that tells a lot right there. This is before Marion Barry, but he was there at the time. So inner city, leaving there, going to FAMU, its own, like you said, its own community. I love anybody I meet from FAM because they are family oriented around their community of FAM. So yes. They have a sense of togetherness. They have a sense of trying to achieve. So FAM is totally unlike many other colleges that I've experienced. I know many people from there, so big up to the FAM community. And yes. Also, I in saying what you just said, I read your bio and I saw that you wanted to bring people together by mind, body, and spirituality alignment. And if, like you said, you heard in my intro, that's some of the bigger things that I speak on. I try not to say body because people place their mind go someplace else when I say it. I don't know why, but
it's that voice.
I don't know why. I'll keep that out of it. But nevertheless, but I do believe that just trying to, if we all could be connected in some kind of way and can pass energy to each other in different ways. And I know you said through wellness, through food, through exercise, through spirituality, through, everything you could think of, just family. Those things are very important. So everything you just said, I resonated with. Lastly, I picked up from you 4 books. That's amazing to be an author. And was this after your corporate career or you started doing your corporate career?
Yes, when I think about it, I'm sort of amazed. So I've written 4 books in 6 years. So since I left corporate, my first book was a book of daily affirmations on mindful eating, really mindful living. A year of me. mindful eating to improve well-being. So the concept of mindfulness, mindful eating. So it wasn't, some days it could be like, I will be kind to my skin today. I will plan my lunch a week in advance. So some of them are practical and some are, I am beautiful. I am living the life I want to be. So it combined all these different affirmations. And that was to support, my first business was called You Gotta Eat. And so the mindfulness around food, and then it just grew from there to be mindful living. So it's not just about what you eat. It's about being mindful. Mindful is the word, because just sort of philosophically, our body is in service to our thoughts, to our mind, period. So when you talk about, when you said, I don't want to say body, I'm with you, because for a different reason though, because people focused on their body, like what someone did to me or what I'm going to do to you, like physically. But it doesn't matter, because most of the time it's not people hitting you or breathing on you or in your space. It's what people have done that you think about, your perspective, your perception of what they do is what gets you angry or gets you happy, period. If it's someone you don't care about, someone you don't know, and they say something, it may not matter. But if it's someone you really love, when they say something, you may take it personally. In both cases, it's all about how you take it, how we take it in our mind. So that's the connection that we all have that does not change. And I really started coming to this as I went through this journey of the books. This last one started coming out of me, during COVID, the Trump administration, social justice, all the riots, the killings, this everything. And I'm like, what can I do? How can I help the world? Because I'm not the one to go out in the street and picket, or that's an old school term, I'm giving my age away, picket, and protest. Different types of ways I protest in my writing and the things I do. But the one thing is, like, it's not as much as a protest, it's a support. How can I support people to think in a way that's not divisive, that's unity consciousness? That's what we're talking about. We're all one. That's unity consciousness. When you understand that what I do to you comes back to me, because it's all connected, like the butterfly effect, then you want to do the best for yourself and for other people. So that's where I've sort of come through this journey. And that's why this fourth book, The Universal Laws of Awakening, I call it a spiritual classic, really talks, like I just talked about, sort of philosophically and theoretically, esoterically, about what's important. And then we can go into other things, like practical things about how to recognize, how to practice these things, how to be able to live a life where you love, but you can be detached enough not to suffer under anyone's opinion of you.
I can just drop the mic and say, let's go, because I'm ready to stay on the couch. I want to, before I get even deeper into the books and deeper into that, I want to dive into some of your past. I saw that you had some things during your corporate career, went through a divorce, a car crash. Do you like to speak about any of that? To let we all have survived something, but people don't know what some people went through to make it to where they are today.
Yeah, absolutely. I start this book by saying, as a matter of fact, if you don't mind, I'll read the first couple sentences.
Please.
My father, a Pentecostal preacher, told me that something major happens in everyone's life around the age of 40. I didn't know what he was talking about at the time, but now I know he has never been more right. For me, the pressure started to build in my mid-30s and then simply exploded when I was 40. I wish my father had told me more specifically what something major meant and how to navigate it. But now I understand, and I can share my wisdom to ease the way for others during their season of uncertainty. And that's something that late 30s, 40 was divorce. It was my two kids got in a car accident. My daughter was driving. She was 18. My son was 15. And it was a rollover accident. And she was able to get out through the sunroof. And he was crushed. His neck was crushed. So C4, C5 high. Basically, his neck was broken. And so he's a quadriplegic. He can move his arms, but his hands are sort of, he can't move his digits. And then the rest of his body from his chair, he's in a motorized wheelchair. Mm-hmm. He was 15 at the time, and he turns 28 next month. So it was 13 years ago on June 19th. So that was another big changing point. A lot of times I talk about before the accident and after the accident, but it's even too simple because the year before the accident, my divorce was final, which meant the year before that I was going through fighting, that divorce process, which is not a pleasant one. And so it's just like for those 2-3 years, and then the car accident happened. And so I just wanted to give up. I'm like, Lord, I can't take anymore. So my son was in the hospital for 3 months. And he went from just trying to save his life at first. He had a tracheotomy, brace, head intraction,
15.
Everything. 15. And he had just hit his growth spurt. So he was like 5'9". I think he's about 6'1" now. But when he got to, 15-year-old guys want to be taller than everybody and start to get tall and go through middle school and high school. And he was just there. He had started wrestling, playing football. He was active. I had started running. He would run with me. So now he's in a wheelchair. But his attitude has been so wonderful. He was already a precocious and friendly young man. And thank God he didn't lose that. Nothing mentally he lost. And he was very smart. Like we almost had him skip a grade or so. So he's still smart. He just can't move. And so he has nurses there. He lives independently. He finished his undergrad and his grad. He has nurses that help care for him at night. He has a house that's, modified so he can live. So actually he is my inspiration in a lot of things. But at that time, that was a turning point because I didn't know how I was going to make it. Oh, and my boss at work, I was working in Kentucky at the time. He was a good old boy. So I I liked the company, but I was having problems. Oh, and that I don't even want to get off track because that'll take us down a whole nother road about. But so it just piled on.
Let me say this. We won't get off track on this one, but I want to let you know that the keys to the house is open. You can come back anytime.
Okay.
The brown is under the cabinet and the white is above. The red cups are next to it. Just let yourself in. So you are welcome to come back to Cousin Ed's Corner anytime. We could talk about anything you'd like to talk about. So I don't want you to hold back, but I do know you want to hit a couple things, but you're welcome anytime to come back.
I appreciate more. I'm going to the cabinets up top. And I'll be back. I will be back. So I would just say that is those things got me onto this trajectory of how do you live a happy life? How am I going to keep living? Like I was having migraines. I had gone and started taking like antidepressants, which were the worst for me. They just made me sleepier, and just so you just really have to figure out how to work through these things. So that's what my life became. Helping my child live, making sure he was okay, advocating for him in this crazy medical system, managing with my daughter who was driving. So she didn't have physical issues, but of course that's an emotional trauma at 18, dealing with the ex-husband who was a very fresh ex. So you're still going through all of that and working with the kids together, trying to be a team more back again, So that was a really rough time. And so I just left my job, Company was very supportive. I stayed in the hospital with my son almost every night for that 3 months. And other people would, if I wasn't there, I would have other people, an aunt, a sister, a friend, someone, his dad, someone to come and stay with him. But generally I was there because I had left my job. I went on a leave and I never went back. They supported me as long as they could. And it was Yum Brand. So, they own Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. So they were sending food all the time. They were so supportive. Like for the first month, we always ate, they just, so, and my best friends and my rattlers came up, from all over the country, in family. And that's what my son would say, that like the tale of two cities. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, because he says he actually saw everyone he ever knew, like aunts, uncles, grandparents, friends, people from California, Florida, Alabama, Texas, like everyone came. And he loves people. He loves people. So he was excited to see everyone, and everyone was doting over him and helping him. So that was very good for his recovery, because in the first few weeks, it's a hard thing to accept. It's a hard thing. You don't accept it. You don't accept it for
weeks.
The first year, really.
I'm about to say weeks. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah. But I want to say this much: you're still standing, and the testimony you gave of him on his own, doing his own thing. He's still standing, and I think a lot of times we think that what we're going through is so the end. We don't know what power, what God has in us, and what He could bring us through. So a lot of times we get to that point where we want to give up, and if we just hold on,
and look back over our lives, right? Like,
man, if we
could just do that,
that's it.
And that's why I say it's the inspiration. Like, it's not easy. And even now, even being an entrepreneur, like, life doesn't stop. There were always challenges. Even when I left corporate America, at the point that I was leaving corporate, and I'm like, what else? Like, there's got to be something else. What's more? I was getting stressed out. The values that I was working for weren't jiving with what I felt in my heart. And I was in upper leadership, executive leadership. So I'm like, when they talk about leadership in the company, they're talking about me. So I was trying to change things from within, and I wasn't. It wasn't going as fast as I wanted it to go. And I started to get real stressed out again, like not sleeping, not the migraines or whatever, but just too stressed out for someone who had gone through a mother of kids in a almost deadly car accident, and all that we went through, like understanding the nature of life. After that, I said, nothing's ever going to get me. Nothing can be worse than that. And again, it wasn't just the accident. It was a whole 3-year period. And it just, the bottom was the accident. That was my floor. And I've been rising since. Just like you said, maintaining, overcoming. You overcome the next thing, then the next thing, and the next thing. And then I really started getting into, I had started running, but then I started getting into more spiritual things. I grew up in the church, but what I say in the book, in my introduction, after that paragraph, my dad told me these things, and he's a pastor. But what religions teach us how to do, in my estimation, is teach us how to live in this world, like how to get along with people, how to have a polite society. And they tell us these, these things to do, but they don't really say how to be happy. They say have faith and you'll find joy, but how do you do that? And I want to go further. The next sort of evolution of I feel like the human condition is, how do you do that? How do I become one with God or with spirit all the time? Not on Sundays, not on Wednesdays, but every time I feel something coming at me, I can get myself into the place where my thoughts are connected to God, to spirit, to the universe, at the vibration where I can have clarity about what the next best decision is for me. If we can all do that, we're golden. And that's where, so I'm starting at the source that we all have that's connected.
Well, staying right there, I think we coming out of what happened, and now going into your own business and entrepreneurship, wellness, and in saying that, I think it starts within. You just said it. I'm just agreeing with you. It starts within. If you have to first look inside, love yourself, know God is within you, be spiritually connected. Finding joy within that alone starts there. And then if you build up this is Edwin, this is my cousin Ed talking. If you build up within yourself that power, that energy, and connect yourself to him, it goes outside. It touches others. No matter what happens, you can always come back to that and know that you have that connection. So
the problem is people don't know that it's within them. I talk about this a lot, that and what religion should be, when what it's billed as is, I thought it was going to help make me happy, like it was going to comfort me. They say it in my times of need. And there's good stuff. There's good good religious texts in the Bible and the Quran and all of that.
Can I? Okay, I went to a private Catholic school and I took up sociology and all that. And what I found was religion is only separation. It comes from Ragai. It's separation, right?
Yes.
So religion is not what we think it is. Go ahead.
You can see me chills. We're in such agreement. Okay. It's because the religions themselves say my way is the only way. And God is on all things. It's a contradiction of itself. And then I grew up Christian, and I just did this post on TikTok, I think, about sort of comparing Christianity to whiteness. In a way, it is what it is. Like we're mad as Black folk about slavery, racism, this inequity that's around us. Okay. And we're like, why don't white folk fess up, or reparations or whatever? Like, why are they acting like they don't even want to talk about it? They want to take books out of school. They want, like, what is that about? And if for Christianity, Christians kill so many people who didn't believe, like we have done a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff, but we don't talk about that either. And then we get mad at people if they don't believe in Jesus. So it's like, it's all separation instead of let's go above and beyond religion to God. There's a direct path because God is in everything. But what I wanted to say is that part where you said God is in, like we can go in, we have to go in and then it comes out, right? Most people don't do that. Most people, when they pray, and this is one of the things, and I do spiritual coaching. I want to make sure I mention this series I'm about to do coming up on the quest for inner peace. But most people pray to something outside of themselves. They look up and pray. Why are they looking up? God is in the core. What the light, your mind that you need to, your mind that's connected with the mind of God is right here, right now.
Yes.
But so we're already geolocated incorrectly to be in connection with the information we want to get, because we're already creating our own separateness because we're looking for God outside of us. We're looking for something someplace else and hoping we can get it, when really the God is within us. And if we can tap into the knowledge, the understanding that we need, then that light shines out. So the first problem is we're not even going to God in the right place. We're not even going to in divine intelligence, universe, whatever you want to call it, source. It's all within us. And so if everyone, and that's what I talk about a lot, like in the universal laws of awakening, I sort of bring it all together there and then talk about there's 7 intentions that you can do. One of my books is called The 10 Days, 7 Intentions. Do this for 10 days, you transform. Meditation, exercise, mindful eating, self-care, daily affirmations and journaling, kindness and gratitude, and rest and sleep. You put those things in a pot every day for 10 days, it's alchemical. You will transform. So it goes from sort of the esoteric to here are actual practices you can do. Because if you meditate, you're going to be practicing going within. If you're being kind and you have gratitude, That's an internal process that is expressed outwardly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you sleep and rest, you recover. You actually are people may not believe this, but you actually go a little bit more to that higher dimension because your thoughts slow down. So now you are in peace and stillness with God, with the universe. You're more in tune with nature, with your true
Mm-hmm.
self when you're asleep. Mindful eating, we talked about. I wrote a whole book with affirmations. So, I really try to talk about, listen, and we can just wake up to where our real power is, which is right here within us. And here's some things you can do. Man, we can just change this whole world for the better. We can all be happy. We can actually start to do what we used to do, which was disagree and still be happy. I can disagree with people. One funny story. I was with some couples down doing the Bourbon Trail for someone's birthday. And we, in the evening, we were playing games. And so they decided, the guys against the girls. And all the trash talking ensued. And so the guys won, which sort of surprised me. But the guys...
we probably cheated.
Yeah, right? So they, so all this trash talking, but they're trying to make us feel bad, like, because they won. See, y'all couldn't. Da, da, da. And so it was so funny because I realized this is how I am. I said, I can't lose. I can't feel bad. When my brothers win, I win too. Y'all feeling good right now, so I win. So you can't make me feel bad. And they were like, I think she's messing with my mind. And I am. I'm messing with everyone's mind because we all win. When you can think that way, like, yeah, I wanted to win, but I'm not going to feel bad because y'all had a good night. Like, oh, now all our husbands happy. Okay, good for you.
It works for me, right? Mm-hmm.
I like it. So that's the mindset that I want. If everyone could sort of start moving in that way, the world will be a better place.
Well, I definitely agree with you. It was my younger years growing up in New York and learning from some of the 5%ers, the Israelites, and then being chastised through the Christian community about that, and then going to a private, predominantly, all white Catholic school for college, and then learning about religion from their aspect really woke my mind back up to what I was learning before from the 5%ers and the Israelites about inner self and everything that, back then with poor righteous teachers and KRS-One and everyone who was trying to enlighten us on knowledge of self. It all opened up and this awakened in me. And we go through phases and we have to learn, and there's nothing wrong with religion. I think is when you go there and you hear a message, it's still how you receive the message. It's like you said about someone saying something ill to you or foul to you. It's all how you receive it. So when you go to church and you hear a scripture or you hear a pastor preach, it's all about how you receive it and what you take from it and how you digest it and what you go back and research. And so I want to make sure we're clear. We're not against religion before we get all these emails and texts and everything else. We're not against religion. We're just saying that the true self, the true God is within you. And we want to make sure that you know that you have the power that God gave you
yes.
outside of the church house.
Yes. So what is interesting is that religious people, mostly Christians, I'm just going to be specific for me because I grew up Christian, will get upset if you don't say Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, but I'm saying love, I'm saying compassion, I'm saying all of these things. So let's not separate. And there was one post I did, and I was leading a meditation, and I had on a dress it was a sundress. It had like a low cut thing. And one of the comments, it wasn't a lot of comments on there, but one was like, showing skin isn't holy. You might want to reconsider your message. And it was about breathing into life and taking time out and all that. And what she got from it was, you're showing too much skin. You're not being holy in the people of God. And so there's a thing of just trust and not trust. So I'm with you. Like, I think religion is beautiful, but it should support life. It supports a person having the most beautiful, vibrant life that they can. It is not all of life. It doesn't encircle life. It's a small part. God is everything, right? And then we're in there with everything else. So that's what I think is that, again, it's a mindset shift. It's a shift from this one thing being all encompassing to it being an enabler, a support, a way of thinking that's going to make things better. Because a lot of people are getting frustrated by it. And I don't want people to be frustrated by the potential that they have in their life, thinking that it's not there because someone in the church told them that it's not there, or they felt, you're a sinner and, you haven't done enough to get back in good standing with God. No. No.
What's that saying? Whoever without sin throw the first stone. We all are sinners. We all have problems. But we all striving to get to the point of redemption. One, but just make it to that ending place where we're at peace. So I think we all need to help each other in doing that. So
I don't even use the term sin anymore, because I try to use words that give positive connotations, or ones that are more hopeful. So when really a sin is a mistake. It is I didn't have the discipline, the control, or I did something wrong, or outside of the norm, outside of whatever. So just to say it in a way that and it can be corrected. You can be reborn again every day, renewed every morning. And so if you take it just like you say sin, people think damnation. So I wanted to, so what I'm doing, what's coming up, this is the perfect place for me to mention it, because it's what I've been talking about, is I'm putting together a series on the universal laws, but it's going to be spirituality in the quest for inner peace. And we're going to talk for 12, it's going to be 10 weeks. I have to cut it down 2 weeks, but it's going to be 10 weeks, a major topic each week. I'll combine some of the laws, but at first we're going to talk about the power of belief and reality, a lot like what we talked about tonight, the mindset. And then we're going to go through the different laws, and we're going to end with different things you can do, like the 7 intentions and the spiritual scientific method, like how you can go about solving problems. I have a problem. Here's my hypothesis. This is what I think it is. Let me go meditate. You got to use your spiritual tools. Then you use some of these laws, you contemplate these laws, you will come out with the answer to your problem. People just don't take the time. But all of the tools and everything that we need is right there for them. So I want to put this series together. It's coming up next month.
Well, I definitely will support you in that any way possible. One thing you just said that stuck out, people don't want to take the time. We are in a microwave society and they want answers right away. Want to put in, hit a button and come out with it. But definitely it takes time for anything that's purposeful, anything that is going to reap a good reward. You may have some fortunes out there where you get, but they don't last long and they're far and in between. So a lot of things take time. So I don't want to hold you long on this first one. I loved having you here. I want to have you back. Like I said, as much as you want to be back, the doors are open, the keys are there. Please definitely come back. But what I want to do, and I haven't done this ever, but I want to have one of my listeners, one of our listeners, be able to get one of your books, because you have 4 of them out there. And what I'm going to ask for them to do is to send a voicemail. You can send a text or voicemail. I'd rather voicemail, but send a text 762-333-2032. That's 762-333-2032. Or leave a voicemail for TK. If you go to cousinedscorner.com and across the top of the page to leave voicemail, leave a voicemail for her. Let her know what you think about this episode. I will replay the voicemail. Also, I will send it to her. But I want you to mention something you heard in this episode and mention one of her books. If you mention that in the voicemail, I will donate. I will have her send a book directly to you. So make sure I have your contact information. You could text that to me, so you don't got to put it in the voicemail, but you can text that to me, and I will make sure that she gets the book to you. So I've never done that before, but I really connected with you this evening, and I wanted the listeners to be able to get that and definitely follow up with you. So if you don't mind, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you don't mind, if you have any closing words, definitely in those closing words, be sure to give your contact information. But any closing words for Cousin Ed's Corner?
I just want to give a great sense of gratitude, and I pause a lot. I find I'm talking slower because I bring up the actual energy of gratitude, and so I want to thank you for having this platform and bringing people together and putting out great communication. This is what it's all about. We're so in sync. Everyone has their own way. And that's what, if we could just appreciate those ways, and when we come together, it's explosive. So I expect great things for you. And I'm very happy to be able to be on this show and sharing this with you. So everything I talk about is under the mantra of remarkable wellness. And that is where you'll find me or TK Inspirations. So that's where everyone can find me on TikTok. It's remarkable_wellness. Same thing on Instagram. And my website is remarkablewellness.us. So check me out. We're going to have the series coming. I just want I really want to build a community of people who are interested in practicing and growing in kindness and compassion, which will lead to their own inner peace and a life of happiness. So let's just keep doing this. I can't wait to come back.
Well, I definitely thank you again. I will put all of your information inside of the show notes so they can find you, but I definitely want them to go out and check out some of your content on TikTok and Instagram. Check out some of her videos. Make sure you tag Cousin Ed's Corner in the videos when you go out there. Let her know where you found her at.
Yes.
But definitely stay positive, people. We want this. The energy behind life is just inside of you. We want you to. I want you. She wants you. But we all want ourselves to be happy. And in being happy, it first starts within you. Because no matter what someone else does to you, outside of physical harm or danger, outside of that, no matter what they do to you, you control the outcome of it. So just be happy. Let things roll off sometimes. Sometimes you do have to, pull out that DC in you. But
yes, sir.
But for the most part, be happy, be joyful. We love you. We love you. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And I will see you on the next episode of When My Sister Wins, We All Win. We out of here. Peace.
Blessings.
Hey, y'all. Aisha here, founder and CEO of the Sistahs in Business Expo, the country's only multi-city small business expo and community created to celebrate and educate entrepreneurial women of color. Be sure to tune in to the next episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. And remember, when my sister wins, we all win.
This episode of Cousin Ed's Corner was brought to you by the Sistah Shop. Please be sure to visit them at thesistahshop.com. That's TheSistahShop.com. Thesistahshop.com. Thank you for listening to Cousin Ed's Corner.